各位使节、代表、各位贵宾、各位女士先生，大家晚安，大家好。非常感谢大家今晚莅临外交部112年春宴，节目即将开始。
Excellencies, ambassadors, honorable representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 2023 Spring Banquet hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our program will begin shortly.
各位使节、代表、各位贵宾、各位女士先生，大家晚安，大家好，欢迎大家今晚莅临外交部112年春宴。节目即将在5分钟后开始，请各位贵宾就座，并请将手机转为静音或震动模式。
Excellencies, ambassadors, honorable representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the 2023 Spring Banquet held by MOFA. We will begin in 5 minutes. Please be seated and put your phones on silent or vibrate mode. Thank you.
各位贵宾，现在让我们一起热烈掌声欢迎中华民国总统蔡英文阁下莅临会场。
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming President Tsai Ing-wen of the Republic of China, Taiwan.
各位使节、代表、各位贵宾、各位女士先生，大家晚安，大家好！欢迎大家今晚莅临外交部112年新春联欢晚会。首先，让我们热烈欢迎今晚晚会的主人，外交部吴钊燮部长上台致辞。
Excellencies, ambassadors, honorable representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to MOFA's 2023 Spring Banquet. Let us now invite today's host, Minister 钊燮 Joseph Wu, to say a few words.
Madam President Tsai, Dr. Lin Jialong, Secretary General of the Presidential Office, Mr. Wellington Koo, Secretary General of the National Security Council, Ambassador Andrea Bowman, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, Ambassadors, and Honorable Representatives, Senior Advisors to the President, Cabinet Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 Spring Banquet. You know me well enough to understand how it holds a special significance for me to see ambassadors, representatives, and other distinguished guests gather here tonight. With the lifting of pandemic controls, we are finally celebrating another year of successful collaboration with a big, uncovered smile. Over the past year, despite the pandemic and other political and economic upheavals around the world, Taiwan and the international community have worked shoulder to shoulder in overcoming numerous challenges. I would like to extend my appreciation to all of you for your support of Taiwan. Thanks to the backing of our diplomatic allies and like-minded countries, our bids to participate in international organizations and our contributions to the international community received widespread recognition. Because of your championing, Taiwan's voice is being heard, and Taiwan is making a difference on the world stage. As a responsible member of the international community, we are always more than willing to share our expertise and experience with our allies and like-minded partners. Over the years, we have worked together with our diplomatic allies to support their national development plans in elevating the welfare of their people. And wherever there's a need, we are always ready to extend a hand of friendship. After the earthquake in Turkey last month, our government immediately sent a rescue team and announced a donation for humanitarian relief. The Taiwanese people were even more generous, giving great donations in a wish to see less tears shed. We also responded with compassion and commitment to the crisis in Ukraine, as we genuinely feel for our Ukrainian brothers and sisters who are courageously determined to resist the aggression of the authoritarian regime. We will continue to coordinate with the international community to assist Ukraine. Moreover, we call on the global democratic camp to work together to combat authoritarian expansion and build democratic, trusted, and resilient supply chains. Looking ahead, I'm confident that even more fruitful achievements will come about as we continue to deepen cooperation with our partner countries and eventually further encourage a virtuous cycle. Taiwan will continue to safeguard the peace and prosperity across the region and around the world. My good friends, I would like to once again welcome you to the Spring Banquet and wish you a wonderful evening. This year is the year of the rabbit, and other than wishing you all a happy and prosperous new year, I want to assure you that Taiwan will remain agile, pragmatic, resilient, and lovable like a rabbit. And despite the shadow of a big bully in the neighborhood, Taiwan will not budge and will continue to stand tall as a force for good in the world. Thank you.
谢谢部长，请部长回座。
Thank you, Minister Wu. Please be seated.
接下来，我们欢迎驻台外交使节团团长盛文森及格瑞纳丁·伯安卓大使致辞。
Next, we would like to invite Her Excellency Andrea Bowman, Ambassador of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, to address us.
Your Excellency, President Tsai Ing-wen, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Your Excellency, Dr. Joseph Wu and Mrs. Wu, distinguished officials of the Government of Taiwan, ambassadors, members of the Diplomatic Corps and representative officers, honored guests all, good evening. This evening's Mofor Spring Banquet is a time for celebration, and I will use my remarks to celebrate and to congratulate the work of Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This ministry is responsible for Taiwan's diplomacy and foreign relations. Its mission is to formulate, coordinate, and implement foreign policy initiatives which address the issue of national sovereignty and the preservation of territorial integrity, the economy, as well as human and national security. In short, MOFOR is responsible for the essence of Taiwan, the very being of Taiwan, because once the issue of national sovereignty falls within MOFOR's purview, the parameters of its responsibility extend to and beyond the geopolitical borders of this country. The weight of Taiwan's integrity, literally and figuratively, rests on the shoulders of MOFOR, and this weight is enormous. Towards the end of 2022, a Dutch television documentary labeled Taiwan a friend without friends. This labeling was not intentionally hostile, but if we are to adopt this caricature painted of Taiwan by its aggressively authoritarian neighbor, we could easily be lulled into feeling that Taiwan is alone and friendless, and this is far from the truth. Taiwan may have lost allies, but this country has certainly gained like-minded friends who not only stand with and speak for Taiwan in international fora, but Taiwan has a cadre of allies and friends who respect and respond to the gravitas of MOFOR. This, in turn, has ensured that the essence of this country has taken center stage in the international arena. Taiwan's MOFOR oversees 113 diplomatic missions across the world, as well as its permanent missions to the European Union and to the World Trade Organization. 59 United Nations members maintain relations with Taiwan on an unofficial basis. In January of this year, 19 Republican members of the United States Congress introduced a resolution urging the U.S. to resume formal diplomatic relations with Taiwan. In May of this year, for the G7 Hiroshima summit, the issue of Taiwan has been firmly placed on the agenda. This accumulation of international interaction and responsiveness results from the energetic dedication of Taiwan's MOFA. Within recent times, a number of Taiwan's allies and friends have paid deliberate visits to this country in order to broadcast their support and solidarity with Taiwan's integrity. And we have all witnessed MOFA's warm engagement with these guests. The onus is on MOFA to cultivate these alliances and friendships in the interests of Taiwan's protection, and MOFA does this with grace and dignity, although we all know that it is exhausting. What is more, MOFA sets the tone and the ethos for the Taiwanese public's response to the rest of the world. About 4 weeks ago, after Turkey had experienced 2 devastating earthquakes, the Taiwanese public had donated over 900 million new Taiwanese dollars to Turkey, an amount which has undoubtedly increased since the 3rd earthquake. This donation, in combination with official assistance, led to the Turkish representative's statement that, and I quote, "Nothing is impossible as long as Taiwan exists," end of quotation. This succinct statement sums up so much and says much more. This statement is not limited to the international benevolence exhibited by Taiwan under the banner of Taiwan Can Help during the height of the pandemic caused by COVID-19. This statement addresses the essential existence of Taiwan. Taiwan exists now as a truly democratic country in that the will of the majority of the people is what drives the progress of this country. Taiwan is truly people-centered in this respect, and it is this essence of Taiwan over which MOFA has jurisdiction. A large part of MOFA's mission is to safeguard the sovereignty of Taiwan, not only for the people of Taiwan at home and abroad, but for the belief we all have in the integrity of Taiwan's freedom, which makes the goodwill of humanity possible. Nothing is impossible as long as Taiwan exists. Congratulations, MOFA. The weight on your shoulders is heavy, but your weight training and muscle building routines are exemplary. Thank you.
谢谢伯安卓大使，请大使回座。
Thank you, Ambassador Bowman. Please be seated.
"现在，让我们恭请中华民国总统蔡英文阁下致辞。
Now we are honored to invite President Tsai Ing-wen to deliver her remarks.
我们今天的主人吴钊燮部长伉俪，世界团长伯安卓大使，我们各位驻台世界代表，我们总统府秘书长林佳龙，还有我们好几位我们的资政在场，我们 监察院的副院长也在这里，我们顾立雄秘书长，还有我们各位贵宾、各位同仁，大家晚安，大家好。今天现场有很多熟悉的面孔，真的很高兴跟大家一起参加春宴。借着今天这个机会，我要特别谢谢各位使节代表，过去1年多来给予我们许多的支持与协助。我也要谢谢各位在国际上的许多的场合为台湾发声，提高了台湾的国际能见度。近年台湾跟各国携手合作，共同创造的成果，也让我们彼此的情谊更加的深厚。过去1年多来，国际情势出现许多的变化，也遇到了很多的挑战。从全球防疫、援助乌克兰跟土耳其赈灾，台湾始终跟国际社会站在一起，相互扶持。随着全球的疫情趋缓，我们陆续的放宽了防疫的措施，我们也会努力的为全球的经济复苏贡献更多的心力。我们同时会持续和友邦以及理念相近的国家，针对气候变迁、医疗公卫、妇女赋权、数位经济以及供应链安全等领域做更广泛的合作。就国内经济来说，我们将透过疫后特别预算来加大力道，以确保发展的动能，协助中小企业的转型，加速国内市场及产业的复苏，是我们的重中之重。我要告诉各位，从台湾去年10月边境解封以来，我们预计在3月底将会迎来第100万人次的境外旅客，为台湾恢复国际观光注入一剂强心针。台湾是维护区域和平、坚守民主自由的良善力量。面对威权主义持续的扩张，台湾会持续的强化自我防卫的能力，提升国防的实力。我们愿意也有能力跟国际民主盟友一起来加强合作，守护我们的生活方式，确保印太区域的和平以及稳定。台湾是世界的台湾，今年我们会继续努力，也请各位使节代表、各位贵宾跟我们一起携手向前，让我们一起打造安全美好的未来。谢谢，谢谢大家。
谢谢总统，请总统留步，请吴部长及伯安卓大使到台上来与总统一同祝酒。
Thank you, President Tsai. Please remain on stage for a moment as we invite Minister Wu and Ambassador Bowman to join you in giving a toast together.
祝大家在新的一年持续在各个领域绽放光彩。
In the new year, let us continue to bloom and blossom in all areas.
Cheers! 谢谢总统、部长及伯安卓大使，请回座。
Thank you, President Tsai, Minister Wu, and Ambassador Bowman. Please be seated.